Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signaturetv. News in your pocket. Signaturetv. News in your pocket.
You're welcome to Signature Television Unscripted. My name is Mike Obani. We are going to take you through major developments, major events in our country. And I wish you, once again, a happy and prosperous new year, even though the month of January has gone very far. But as long as we have January, we'll still continue to wish you a happy and prosperous new year. Once again, my name is Mike Obani. We're going to take you through some of the major events in our country. And we're looking at the development in River State. River State's politics, River State judiciary, the impeachment process of the governor of River State has just been put on hold through the action of the court. We look at the developments. We also look at the development in Kano State, where the Kano State governor, Abbas Yusuf, has resigned from the New Nigerian People's Party. He has not made his new party known. And, this is a season of defection. Well, we look at that too. Then the abduction that took place in Kaduna State. The abduction of worshippers that took place in Kaduna State. First of all, the security agencies denied that nothing of sort took place. But later, they accepted the fact that there was actually an abduction. And it comes at a time when Nigeria has paid so much money to an American lobbyist, to launder the image of Nigeria. With me in the studio this morning is Dr. Ukeje. Dr. Ukeje is a seasoned economist. Dr. Ukeje, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mike.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martin Ani is a seasoned public affairs analyst. Mr. Ani, you're welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning. You shake him on my behalf because he's tired. Thank you very much. It's like we are meeting for the first time since the year. You are welcome. You are welcome. Yes. Thank you very much for coming, and we wish you a happy and prosperous new year. It's like we have all stayed long in ENUGU state, really. And I want to take you to the center. Okay. I want to take you to the center of Nigerian politics. I don't know whether you agree for us to go to the center, because all these governors that have defected, they want to be at the center. In fact, that's the reason, major reason that they are giving for defection. They want to bring their people to the center. In ENUGU, for instance, the governor of ENUGU State, Dr. Peter Mbah, when he defected from the People's Democratic Party to APC, he said his major reason was to bring ENUGU State and Southeast to the center. Let's look at this center thing. We've been, the Southeast, for instance, ENUGU State has been in the center of politics, for 24 years since the inception of this, democracy experiment in 1999. 24 years of PDP rule in ENUGU State. 24 years of PDP rule in Abia State. people are still talking about going to the, what is the essence of going to the center? You know, really, when you look at the whole thing, is it profitable? We were there for 24 years. What are we going to do there?
These are remarks by, well, I say, Johnny Men. You don't take what they are saying for political party or our constitution, or the constitution of Nigeria, assumes representative participation in government. But those people are not representing it, they are representing themselves. So don't bother yourself about what they said or what they didn't say. But unity does not mean uniformity. Three of us here can see him very young and agile, can see me old and declining. But we are united, but we are not uniform. Anybody who tells you that he's going to the center for something, he's going for himself. Before you go anywhere, you will be delegated. That's why people are called delegates. The one of Kano is most interesting. But they say that those who forget history will live it again. Abubakar Remi was well educated, he followed Aminu Kano, who was not as, you know, you can't call him a polished man in terms of, but he had the heart for the ordinary people.
Yes.
That was his effort. So he joined him because that was the winning framework.
Yeah.
Of course, when things fell apart between the two of them, he moved to MPP at that time. That change created a problem that eventually led to the loss of his life. Kano is a very large community, but let us see how this one goes. So we shouldn't be wasting our time about.
It's not really a question of wasting our time. It's a question. That question is relevant.
You know, we were talking about how long the PDP, before now PDP has stayed in ENUGU before this vote phase. Okay, the point here is this. You can agree with me that since 1999, apart from the Second Republic, and then up to, you know, then when we had parties that had ideology, you know, these days parties do not have ideology. So parties do not maintain left or right, or center left or center right. There are no conservatives, there are no liberals, there is no little to the left and little to the right and center. So what people do is to have a purpose vehicle, you know, a means to get to power. They don't see politics since 1999 as a means to hold on to power. And that was what coincidentally PDP did. It wasn't as if PDP had any ideology. Could you term them liberalists? Could you tell them conservative? No. Could you tell them welfarists? No. Could you say they are center left or center right? No. Anything that could enable them survive was what they welcomed, whether it was conservative or liberal, it doesn't matter. So the point here is that it was just a mere coincidence that had PDP run till 24 years that I just mentioned, and then capitulated under Goodluck Jonathan, you know, because he wasn't forceful about the election, he wasn't determined to run with it, to hold it and catch it at all means. So that was how PDP lost. If not, PDP would have seen how got to power, assuming they had a leader who was more forceful and all that. So the point here is that ENUGU leaving PDP, just like you mentioned, you know, last year when we were discussing in this forum, I mentioned about popular politics and then elitist politics. You know, these are people playing elitist politics. I want to move to the center to make the place better. What has changed since moving? Apart from possibly Uchenna losing his seat at the Senate and then being the leader of APC. He nominated someone from his cabinet, who was the former commissioner of Attorney General, to replace the Minister of Science and Technology.
Uchenna losing his position.
Yes, because
of
of
the executive.
Exactly. So what has changed? Nothing. Nothing has changed. The allocation is still the same. If he has the zeal to work for ENUGU, it's still the same zeal, assuming he's still pushful. If he wants to work for the people, he will still work for the people. But if he wants to work for some persons at the expense of the people, in order to have opportunity to be at the center for protection against certain things that may be undemocratic, that is also personal to him. So for us, it is his personal decision to move to the center, but we are yet to see the import of that movement. So, like I stated, ENUGU being in PDP for the past 24 years just a mere coincidence. Even ruling Nigeria.
Marty, I think I knew one day that PDP was one political party that was formed by consensus. Regardless of the fact that Obasanjo was jump-started into it, he wasn't a member of the organization. Of the Kwame that was leading them. But if you look at the character of the people who were chairman of the party, Kwame, Solomon La, you know, they were people who were open.
Focused.
They were open to dialogue.
Exactly.
If you remember, throughout the time that the PDP was in office at the federal level, Borno State, Yobe State, Lagos State, I can't remember any other state now, continued to be governed by parties that are not members of the People Democratic Party. And I don't think anybody went to jail for that reason. Actually, what is called APC now was a patchwork of people who left PDP in opposition to Jonathan running for president in 2015. So they were quite different, but what we should focus on is representative governance. If you follow international developments now, you see the UK Prime Minister was even talking about Trump as if they were mates. But Trump represents some solid interest in the United States. People who believe that the US is being taken as big for nothing. And that is why much of what he does is carried forward because he represents some people. But this one we are seeing in Nigeria is following one man.
Yes.
Even when your family members do not know him or are against him. You know, it's like Amakeku. There's a music that we used to call Amakeku. Whatever you are told, you ignore it and you do whatever you like. But like it happened in the First Republic, when you build a pyramid, when you build a steel structure, one leader, one person, everybody's following him. When he's not there, things will fall apart and there will be, the center has fallen and nobody will know where to go. It will be like Israel that said everybody to your own home. But it's not good because people's life has
then that brings us to the issue of what we should do at this moment to reverse the situation. Because, I mean, power belongs to the people. If I am a governor, I am moving from one particular party, a party that elected me into office. Okay? The implication is that I should first of all get support from those who elected me. Throw the issue before that. I said, look, I am going there. You
don't need to belabor the point. Edward the Seventh in England up to today, being a Catholic is a no-go area for the kingship. When he fell in love with a Catholic, a divorcee, he abdicated the kingdom and went to the United States to marry the person he loved. Can you imagine anybody who is Sultan in Sokoto converting to Christianity and remaining a Sultan? It's just that these people are private and they're engaged in private business. So whatever they say has nothing to do with the people.
Just to take it up from there, have you seen APC since the emergence of Tinubu? What are the ingredients? What can you say is a democratic party? Where are the organs? Are they functioning? You can see what is going on in Rivers. One man is not in PDP, one man is not in APC, one man is also in Tinubu's government, commanding certain things, dictating certain things within PDP and APC at the same time. That is not normal in a democracy. The party will call a meeting and then sanction you.
You are going far. In ENUGU here now,
So,
if you go around the town,
so what
you will
exactly
see
is going on?
billboards, where local government chairman and the governor are calling people to come and register.
Register,
in APC.
exactly. What
But
is
the
happening?
party has
The organ,
chairman
the structure.
and the executive.
Exactly.
But public resources are being,
used
to.
So,
And once they do it, once they do e-registration, they will nominate people without people voting. That was what
so that's not how
used
parties
to remove
run.
Ambode. The party sent people to go and conduct the nomination. Adam Soshomole was the chairman at that time. He said no, the nomination had not been done, but Tinubu insisted that it had been done.
Exactly.
Civil servants, local government employees are now being registered as members of APC.
The last neck that APC had held in the presidency. So it looks as if, okay, at the moment, Professor Yewatide or whatever, the APC chairman, is trying to rein in the skirmish going on in Rivers as the leader of the APC. Has said the governor of the state, who is now a member, is the leader. But some people are doing things different from what they. So you can see that this is not how a political party is run. Where is the neck? Where is the organs? Where are the structures? That determine the president is just a member of the party.
No, you are like I said, you are going too far. There is a crime.
So it's unfortunate. So there's no party in Nigeria.
I first saw it in Port Harcourt.
There's no party, political
Some
party.
criminals will announce that there is a other fire or something. People will start running. When they run away, they will stay there. So if the main man is against what is happening in the river, he will speak. All this
he's deliberate.
He's just
being exactly. He's being deliberate. It's a political strategy to pretend as if you don't know what's going on, so that nobody will say I said. Nobody will say, oh, I didn't say. At the same time, things are going wrong, and you are the leader. So can you tell me that's how the Labour Party in UK run? Can you tell me that's what Bednock is doing? The Nigerian woman.
So the issue really, gentlemen, is that we don't have political parties.
What we have is amalgamation
we don't
of
have
interest.
political parties at the
People
moment.
who have interest, temporary,
special purpose vehicle.
Just
we don't
to
have
capture
political parties
power
at the moment, and that is very regrettable, because I remember that in the Second Republic we have the Unity Party of Nigeria. If you are a member of Unity Party of Nigeria, you know why. You know the ideology of UPN. You know the ideology of MPP. You know the ideology of MPN. But these days, people anything goes. But that's quite unfortunate for the development of democracy and party politics in our country. But that takes us to Rivers State, where there is the impeachment process of Fubara has been stalled. Temporarily, of course, temporarily, because the judge of Rivers State, Justice Simeon Amade, says it's no longer going to entertain any the impeachment process that because of a court order restraining him from receiving about the impeachment from the legislature in Rivers State. And of course, the Ameule faction of the legislature has gone on an appeal over this issue, and the judge says until there is a determination of this case, I'll no longer touch the case, the matter, even with a long spoon. So what does that say to democracy? What does that say to democracy in Rivers State? What does that say to the government's objective of working for the people, working for the problem? Because it seems as if there is no governance in Rivers State.
No,
there's no governance.
Money, traveling anywhere he likes. His wife is spending money, going anywhere she likes. His son is going around. So he says, how can he be working for the people? The judiciary already has announced that they are standing on one man's mandate. I said, these things are just jokes. the impeachment process, in fact, impeachment means accusation. That's what it means. The vote to remove somebody from office is a different thing. But you cannot go to equity with unclean hands. It's only in Nigeria that judges pretend to be deaf when they like. If you accuse people, if you impeach them, you send the accusations to them and they respond. Fubara and the deputy governor have not responded, yet still was sent to the chief judge. The chief judge, knowing the law, should have said, cannot be treated because the response of the accused is not attached.
Yeah, but the Constitution gives you 7 days, gives the governor, the deputy 7 days to respond. And I think in this case, the intention to impeach the governor, a letter was sent to the governor, was served to the governor.
The governor said he didn't receive
it. He didn't receive it.
It should be attached.
Okay.
To that accusation, because once you accuse, you get members to sign, they agree, they list the accusations and send it to the accused. He responds. You now vote again after that. This response is not satisfactory. You attach the vote, attach the response, and send to the chief judge, pleading with. But the chief judge also has a duty to read what you have written. And if it doesn't make sense, it's only in Nigeria that people go to court to say preliminary objection. So in other jurisdictions that are republics, in US, if you accuse somebody of something, the clerk of court will read it. And if it is not to be determined, it will be thrown out. You don't waste people's, because it costs money for a court to sit. There is a case reported in Abuja. The People's Democratic Party requested the court to grant them authority to enter their compound, which had been occupied by police and weekend. The judge said, I will not issue it, and I will not strike it out. I will dismiss it. What does it mean? It's just psychologically hurting the party. But even the law of physics say that if you have a center of gravity, once it tips, there will be a crash. In the 1960s, the Northern People's Party tried it. People like J.O. Jokes, who is not from the north, joined the party. Melford Okilo formed a small party that has aligned with it. Eventually, where did we end up? But it appears the lesson of that period.
You make contribution. You should also look at the issue of governance. Is governance taking place?
That's exactly what I'm about saying. One, it is good you're trying to, walk us through that are required before the process goes. The point here is that, is it not becoming very infantile, very childish, and very frivolous that impeachment is now used as a tool, a political tool, a kind of witch hunt in Rivers State? These are political parties. These are a set of people whom we know how they emerged in the political force of that state. And we know the man who said he actually made all of them. And the same man now says, since you are not going against what I want, I'm going to deal with you. The last time president had to intervene, and then we thought it was all over. Then what is going on in Rivers is unfortunate. Under any president, that shouldn't happen. In fact, under the current administration, with what has happened in Rivers State, it has been a mockery of democracy in Nigeria. The world is laughing at us. Look at governance is suffering in that state. Because, okay, now look at the point. You said Fubara is working with a budget that is not approved by lawmakers. Now, which budget was approved for the military man?
Yes.
The military man. Look, the state local government allocation was seized at the suspension of democracy in Rivers. Both the governor, deputy, and the House of Assembly. But the moment the military administrator came to power, that allocation was released the next day. So under what condition was it released? There was no elected chairman in the council areas. There was no democratic institutions anywhere. And then the money was released. So it is a show of shame that is going on. Because like you said, Rivers people are suffering. Development is stalled. All they are doing there is how to get the money out of that state, possibly to the center. The one that the military administrators pretended over for 9 months, 6 months. This Ameule led whatever said come and account.
Yeah.
Did he follow that through? No. The man didn't come to account, and we've not heard anything about it again for 6 months.
Made an ambassador.
Yeah.
To put him beyond.
For 6 months. So what kind of system is that?
Yeah, but the governor is still receiving his allocation.
Sure. But what we are saying
so
is
what
that,
happens with the money that
no,
he
he's
receives?
working. No, he has
Okay.
been going about commissioning a few things,
Yeah.
working. No, we've been watching him.
Yeah.
But the point here is that he is not operating optimally because of these troubles here and there, orchestrated by.
Like I said, it is,
Why is it that what makes it difficult for Mr. President to rein in
he is the person
yes,
sponsoring
yes,
it.
Wike?
No.
Because I mean it's a public
It's
knowledge.
simple.
Sponsoring it.
It's simple.
Unless you want me to say that.
It's politics.
Sponsoring it. Look. This
What
is-
does he stand to gain
this is
by causing
personal
division?
power.
All right.
Personal power.
Yeah, let me not hurt this man. Let me not hurt the other man. Let's see how we
Since the
continue.
military rule.
So,
This didn't start in 1999. In the old Anambra State, the word dichotomy was introduced by political philosopher Dr. Chuboka Debo. He did not consider anything beyond him to wreck Anambra State for his personal benefit and the benefit of his paymasters. He was a member of NCNC as a young man. But the moment he joined
MPN.
and Zeke was in NPP,
He did what he called political arithmetic.
he did not spare anybody, even calling Zeke an ant. And it's not just, look at his home, look at Onitsha.
yeah.
He was a member of NCNC when Zeke was the leader.
Yeah.
Zeke was president of Nigeria. He did, but where is he today? They followed the Buhari, who locked him up.
Yeah.
They say he was tear gassed. Everybody, young Martin, yourself, myself, we must stand for something. Politics without principle, according to Mahatma Gandhi, is the problem that we are having. Yusuf in Kano have been following Kwankwaso
Yeah, Kwankwasia movement.
for a long time. What is it that has happened after he had won? And that election would have been taken from him.
Yes.
But for supporters
Yeah.
of Kwankwaso, particularly one sheikh, somebody Bauchi, who threatened the Supreme Court that if they annul his election, then there will be consequences. Of course, they know the people who can cause riots. Now, he is against his master. If you go to scripture, you will see what happened to those who betrayed their master. Interestingly, I saw on television where he and his group were still wearing
the
Kwankwaso
Kwankwasia cap.
cap.
All over. Yeah. They didn't discard it.
You carry your father's house to another person's place and say we have come as slaves.
Now you ask yourself, what exactly is the Kano governor going to lose staying put in the party that made him?
Yeah.
Nothing. Because the entire local government is still run by them. The entire House of Reps, the senators.
Is he afraid that
So what
we will not
exactly?
be given a second
So
term
there is something.
ticket
There
to
is
run for
something
second
they are
term?
not telling us.
Yeah.
Possibly they want to tell us that if we are not here, even when we win in our place, it will be taken away from us. Maybe they are not telling us that that is what they've been told. Maybe there's something they've been told behind the scene that they need to tell us. Because what exactly is the gain?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that we have politicians of this ilk and those who are averse to standing for any principle, any ideology, and we hoping and praying that that day will come when the political parties in Nigeria will be built around principles, will be built around ideology, and of course have followers, strong followers who know where they are going. It's not when the leader, like what we are experiencing at the moment, if the leader defect to party A, then everybody will follow him to party A without asking questions. Gentlemen, something happened, in Kaduna at a time that the federal government, put up a stiff denial to the fact that Christians are not being, persecuted, or there's no genocide against a Christian, Christians in Nigeria. And there were, even at a point when we were told that the federal government had hired a lobbyist in the United States, which of course the government has not come out clearly to tell us what happened. And so much amount of money, public payers' money, has been paid to the lobbyist. We had this incident in Kaduna last week where about 160, is it 170 worshippers, were abducted. The initial reaction of the government, the initial reaction of security agents was that nothing of such happened.
Yeah,
they can insist that something happened. We're happy that today, so what would make a government act that
Let me
way?
just weigh in quickly. The point here is this. America, the Congress committee and all that reported to Donald Trump said there is persecution of Christians in Nigeria. And then Nigeria said no. That is both Christian, Muslim and all that. But the point here is this. In fact, the very day this news broke out, after 2 or 3 days before Nigeria started admitting it, I was watching Al Jazeera and they carried it. I said, wow. The next thing, CNN carried it. So the point here is, what would that lobbyist or that company be telling President Trump now that he will also be reading, or he would also be privileged to be watching, that a whole parishioners, in fact, that foreign television showed the entire church how the system, music equipment were scattered. I don't know whether you watched the video, how the entire building was wrecked, slippers, shoes, people's head, gears, everything, everywhere, on the bags and everything. In fact, the church was a mess. So the point here is, what kind of state are we running that will rather, instead of dealing with our internal affairs, domestic affairs, squarely, firm, as a government that has all the apparatus to deal with it, and we're not able to deal with it, and then we're going to pay 9 million to lobbyists to go and sell a wrong narrative? Is that what it means? Or when they see this one, they will hide it? Unfortunately, they cannot hide it because it's all over the news. So the point I'm trying to make here is that Nigeria is putting their money where it doesn't matter. We have quite a lot of ungoverned spaces. In fact, I was watching that news on telly with all the video and all that. With my wife, I told my wife, what it means now is that wherever the terrorists or Lakarua, or wherever they strike, then the governor was saying there is need for military, what is it called? Military facility, installation. So I asked my wife, does it mean that every part of Nigeria will now be, there will be military installation in every part for us to remain secure? That is not the way to go in this digital era. Where are the technologies? Where are the other AI devices and all that, drone, blah, 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 that you can actually deploy to monitor what is going on in the 30 states and report to a single command and control center? We're not going to invest in that. Rather, we're getting 9 million to give to a lobbyist to go and start lobbying and laundering. What image are we going to launder?
They asked that question, Doctor. What image are we trying to launder? What image?
Forget that one. Because if you are looking for big law firms in Nigeria, I don't think they are in Kaduna.
Exactly.
For the National Security Advisor to rent a lawyer in Kaduna, to rent somebody in Washington. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Federal Ministry of Information, the National Orientation Agency, the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, all these are bodies that are supposed to relate with people abroad.
Yeah.
So, and you know that the NSA wants to run for governor of Adamawa State. There was a time they wanted to impose some tax on bank transactions to be remitted to him. That one entered cold water. He is now spending money that is not budgeted. But more to the point is that when you hear that, like I use the word Amakebu, when you hear that some youths in an area are terrorizing, it is their father that have ignored them.
Exactly.
What they are doing. When people said you should have balance in the presidential ticket, the Muslim combination, the person who originated it is ENUGU. He wanted to run with Buhari. But Buhari felt that it would be like scandalous.
Yeah.
Now he has enacted it. His vice presidential candidate was governor in Borno State. When there was a cartoon in Denmark, this Denmark that is involved in a Greenland problem against the prophet of Islam. There was a reverend father who is in charge of St. Michael's in Meduguri, who was very generous and was feeding destitutes. They killed him and burnt him. Up to today, I'm a Catholic, the body has not been buried because they seized it that somebody killed in the pursuit of religion cannot be given honorable burial. This is the people who are governing us. It took the intervention of people like Shobowale, who writes in the Vanguard, to get Ambode to be governor of Lagos State, because it said they were tired of having only Muslims being elected, Tinubu, Fashola, and they were going to get another Muslim. It was that upset that brought Ambode. But Ambode was a trained accountant, a trained accountant. So all the mago they do in politics, his knowledge affected him. He cannot say, carry cash and give this man. You must prepare voucher. You write something. And they didn't like that kind of thing. So they engineered him out. Are you following?
Yes.
It's the same thing that is happening to Fubara. Fubara is an accountant. He was a civil servant. He knows that when he was working on that weekend, they could bring out the money. He will write what he will write. If they ignore it, he has his own record. Now that he's the main man, he will not do the same thing. So the people we call bandits and terrorists, the people know them. They know them. It doesn't happen. Have they kidnapped any of their own children or their family members and they didn't see what will happen? So the way the police, the local government chairman and the Kaduna State government vigorously denied the announcement by Khan was an embarrassment. But you know that there's a Chinese proverb that says a time of crisis is a time of opportunity. You can see what is happening in Greenland, Ukraine, NATO. They believe that Trump's attention has shifted and they are continuing with what they are doing. It's the world in the wilderness. We're in the wilderness. Because what provokes the Muslim antagonists is preached every day in mosques. Go to the road, highway now, and you watch trucks moving from the north. You will see things like sword, drawn on bodies of men. And some of the things they write there show the orientation. The Nigerian Army logo has something written in Arabic. Are we an Arabic country? Some people will understand what it means, but what does it mean to me? I don't know. So the government has been promoting Islamic religion. It's in the constitution. They talk about Sharia, they talk about this, talk about that. My problem is that the people who are in office now kept drumming restructuring when they were out of office. Now that the new mantra is on my mandate. When will you restructure? Because if there are people who think that Christianity is a challenge to their tradition, you should separate yourself from such people. You can't insist that you will be with them and then impose Islamic tax on them.
The question again is how was it possible for that number of worshippers to have been abducted, in broad daylight and taken away without the security agencies, without the security agencies knowing?
It's not today that it's happening. The Chibok girls, how were they taken? The ones that have been happening, it's not even the Niger. So many of them that have been happening. Look, that's why I said that we don't have a security architecture that covers Nigeria. What we have is...
No, even if we don't have a security architecture that covers Nigeria, what about the will to act when necessary? Because right now, we are told that the kidnappers
are
demanding for is it 19 million?
Also for bike. To replace their bikes.
To replace them. And also to feed those that they abducted.
Now, ask me, why is it that we don't have the drones that will be able to detect where these people
We
are.
don't manufacture drones.
No,
but we can buy
No,
drones.
Martin, just
Why is it that we can't use it to detect these movements?
That is existing in Nigeria. That's why you have police and police division. Once you say that somebody is DPO or he has an area that
He covers.
He covers. He will now request for police posts in different places.
Fine.
And they have signal which they keep in those posts. Every inspector in any post has a duty to rotate, to inspect, to go around. The earliest, as soon as something happens, he hears it. He goes to the radio room.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No, the DPO will call.
That's exactly. There should be a command and control.
They will call the mobile police. They will move easily. This one you're talking about drone.
No, I'm only telling you that. Like, I want to take it up from there. You have the division, you have the police post, you have even sometimes you have in schools and all that. The idea is something is happening. The radio here, the radio there. We have been privileged to watch certain developments overseas where there is a manhunt for a criminal. We know what the radio does. We know what we see on air. We see helicopters. We see drones. Then we keep tracking the thief. The man trying to escape.
That not happen. But what happens in Nigeria is that you will find, say, Mike joined the police in, say, year 2000. This is 2026. Somebody who joined at the same rank you joined in
later
2024.
Well, you got your head. I understand you.
You have no incentive to work.
No, those ones are it's on the other side.
It is so generalized.
No, that is corruption.
Can that be part of the reason why you said, some time ago that Nigeria was not structured to...
That is corruption. We are talking about corruption now. The impact of corruption in police.
Yeah.
Because in a republic, if he is a deputy superintendent of police, and somebody joins the police after him as assistant superintendent, but because his father is emir,
no, we are talking. That is the impact of corruption.
Is a commoner.
Favoritism.
And he should not be the boss of the son of an emir.
That's the issue.
Without going through the due process,
I agree with you.
Assistant commissioner of police. I mean,
I agree with you. There are disincentives.
Openly, a brigadier or colonel who was ADC to the president was to be
elevated,
promoted just 1 year on the rank. Why the rule says
you must stay on this rank,
you must attend leadership courses and pass them.
But you see it happening every day in Nigeria.
That
it is just favoritism. It is just
all part of the things that
corruption.
The system not to work.
Okay.
Because if the system was designed to work, the Inspector General of Police, who has exceeded his time, should have even voluntarily resigned. That I am here to help, but I can't help. Therefore, I go get somebody else who can do the job. So
the point here is that people are taken into the bushes, and we cannot account for them. We don't even know whether they took north, south, east, or west.
No, but they have been communicating with they
will start making
agencies of government.
Yeah,
yes, and we ought to know the.
Remember that when Patami was minister, we spent
so
much money
in ICT
linking NIN to
with that phone they told us a lot.
Backbone and the satellite to spots where people are.
Making
calls they are involved, they know where to get them because you can track those numbers.
Okay.
So if somebody makes a call, even if it is with the victim's phone, the police can track it. But they are not interested because the police itself is not organized for working for the people.
The policing system, the security system makes it easy for another kidnap to happen tomorrow, even without us dealing with the one that just happened. I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom, but this is what we are seeing every day.
Are we enjoying the scenario?
We are not enjoying
the scenario because
is there
nothing?
It looks like we are handicapped.
Assuming that the government was representative.
Okay.
We are handicapped.
That the Kaduna State government and the police in Kaduna should have done is to apologize for making the wrong call. But they are not apologizing. Who are you? They should apologize to you.
Kidnapping is going on everywhere in the streets.
They are going to demand money to settle those people.
People are paying ransom.
If you give them 10 million to settle them, they will take 4.
Exactly. I mean, so what kind of policing system is that?
Yeah, where does that take
And these are the things.
Where does that take us?
These are the things.
Where does that take us
the current
to
leadership,
as a country?
These are the things the current leadership promised to deal with. Don't forget the attack of this leadership on the past administration.
Yes.
That give us this number of ways we're going to do away with this. Give us this. We're going to provide light. Fashola even mentioned that when he was campaigning with Buhari, that 1 year a serious government will fix the energy system, the electricity. But he was part of the Buhari government. He fixed nothing. Today, the grid has collapsed. Are you aware? I don't know whether you have light in your area. In ENUGU.
No.
Today, the grid has collapsed. 24th January 2026. First collapse. We'll have less than how many megawatts for the nation? Because of this insincerity, because of this lack of focus and corruption.
They talk. Look at what many people don't like Trump. Or at least some Nigerians who are not concerned, but they keep talking about Trump.
Because
Trump
he says
went
what he
to
does.
Davos and said what he has found out is that the Europeans are not interested in American security.
Exactly.
That they want America to secure them, but they don't want America to be secure. Because in almost all European countries, there are American troops to help secure
those.
Therefore, they reduce their defense expenditure.
Yeah.
Assuming that the US were to withdraw its troops from Germany, which has a border with Russia and Poland, and move them to Greenland, they will panic.
You know how much they voted for African security under Africa? 413 million.
Because they don't allow Germany to have nuclear weapons. 413
million for Africa. That's what they voted. So you can see that America is actually doing a lot, and the good thing is that the president is saying what he wants to do and doing what he's saying, and that's what the hallmark of a leader.
Yeah. You talked about ideology.
In as much as we may not like him,
I will make America great again.
Even
if he's not
whether you
America
like
great,
it or not, he's still doing it.
Trump
so
and America had become the issue throughout the world.
All over the world. You are talking about them in the Middle East, even in Nigeria, you're talking about them. NATO is panicking about them. The president, Britain said, we are not going to be part of your board of peace. They are still angry. Over the provocation of Trump.
Gentlemen, I just wish that we have more time to discuss these issues and more of that. My producer is warning me that our time is up, and it's nice having you today, and we'll keep looking at Nigeria's problems and offering solutions as much as we can. It's been an exciting moment, Dr. KJ. Once again, I thank you for coming.
You for your leadership. This is what a leader should be. Politicians should come and borrow from you. Go and train them to be representative.
Mr. Martin, can you offer him a handshake on my behalf? Mr. Martin, thank you for coming, really. We'll do it another day.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Bani. Thank you for being there for us. Keep watching Signature Television. Thank you and happy weekend.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
We come from a place of values, a place where hard work and discipline is taught early. We were taught that excellence is intentional so that we stand firm, build and do our work well. Rooted in the knowledge of our origins and the strength of our people, our stories are shaped by resilience, our paths are built on consistency. From the hands that create with precision, skills live here, creativity thrives here, excellence is practiced here, where every detail matters. We tell our stories with clarity and share our truths with confidence. We build influence with intention. Our voices reflect who we are and carry our identity. We build a strong foundation in the dignity of honest work, pride in showing up every day, strength in consistency, respect for the process, and strong value in our efforts. This is who we are, rooted in service to humanity, guided by compassion, driven driven by responsibility beyond self, committed to life, and purposeful in every action we take. It is not just a conversation, it is representation, it is preparation, it is intention made visible. And it is history taking shape from the dream team.
We can do it.
February 14th, 2026.
International Conference Center, ICC.
This is bigger than one person. This is about all of us. You are invited.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Signaturetv, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV. Bright and early as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day. We at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
Wayek is overrated, and they even overrated themselves, and when you go see it, they are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what they call CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change the narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning weekdays and Signature New Day weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
We come from a place of values, a place where hard work and discipline is taught early. We were taught that excellence is intentional so that we stand firm, build and do our work well. Rooted in the knowledge of our origins and the strength of our people, our stories are shaped by resilience, our paths are built on consistency. From the hands that create with precision, skills live here, creativity thrives here, excellence is practiced here, where every detail matters. We tell our stories with clarity and share our truths with confidence. We build a strong foundation in the dignity of honest work, pride in showing up every day, strength in consistency, respect for the process, and strong value in our efforts. This is who we are, rooted in service to humanity, guided by compassion, driven by responsibility beyond self, committed to life, and purposeful in every action we take. It is not just a conversation, it is representation, it is preparation, it is intention made visible, and it is history taking shape. From the dream team, we can do it.
February 14th, 2026.
International Conference Center, ICC.
This is bigger than one person. This is about all of us. You are invited.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Signaturetv, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Welcome to Global News on Signature TV. I am Christopher Lele. In the headlines, hope in sight as ENUGU residents lament persistent water scarcity. INEC conducts mock accreditation ahead of FCT Council polls. Zambia leader backs traditional Ghanaian outfit after online trolling. And Trump threatens tariffs for countries trading with Iran. Details in a moment.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
When Governor Peter Mba assumed office, access to potable water topped his list of early promises with a clear timeline of 180 days. Months later, while initial efforts raised hope, many ENUGU residents say the promise has once again run dry. Our correspondent Favor Wachi, who was on the streets of ENUGU to interact with residents, came back with a story of dashed hope and frustration.
For decades, access to potable water has remained a major challenge for ENUGU residents. This made the sale of water in tankers and digging of wells and boreholes a viable business in ENUGU. Having felt the plight of ENUGU residents for many years, Governor Peter Mba, shortly after assuming office, pledged to restore public water supply across ENUGU State within his first 180 days in office. The promise appeared to be taking shape as water galleries were constructed and water briefly flowed in some parts of the state's capital. The governor's early intervention was seen as a turning point, rekindling hope among residents who believed that hope had finally arrived. Today, many of those taps are dry, some vandalized, and others abandoned, leaving residents frustrated.
It has not been functioning. The tap has not been running for a very long time. It's a horrible situation. We suffer a lot as a result of lack of water in this environment. Even sometimes we engage the tankers, but sometimes for days we'll be calling, looking for them. There is no water anywhere to be found. Sometimes they come and give us. We are really suffering from water here.
It has been a terrible situation here, and you will agree with me that the only source through which we get water is from 90 Mile. Now, with the situation surrounding ENUGU State, road construction, other constructions going on and other things has made it so difficult and more expensive. The tanker operators and drivers, it kind of rocketed the price of water.
We have to go with wheelbarrow. At times we use the head to carry a gallon of water from like 2 to 3 poles away. At times you go, you will not see water. You stay for a line to get 1 gallon of water like for 2 hours because there is much population.
They appeal to the government to come to their aid to reduce their hardships.
The government to help us to build this water equation to make us to be easy to us because of pharmacists are living here. It needs us to, you are begging to government to do us water equation, make us to be follow our members to enjoy the water.
We are appealing to the government to come to our intervention. They should come and help us, at least fix this tap here and every other residential taps. Some people have taps in their houses, but they are not running. So we are appealing to the government to come and help us because we are really suffering.
I would appeal, it's a matter of urgency. He look into the situation and do something quickly, because water is one of the major essentials for human living.
Let them help us and circulate water everywhere, at least so that we'll stop stressing. Water is life, so we are supposed to have water everywhere.
The managing director of ENUGU State Water Corporation, Dr. Mike Nwachukwu, however, says the state government is working tirelessly to ensure that the people of ENUGU State have enough water, saying the delay is caused by problems in the distribution network.
A lot of issues like discontinuity. You don't have pipes connected to each other. In some areas, broken pipes. Valves that ought to control the water are not in place. So what has happened is when we send the water in to the city, you have water leaking away.
He, however, assured that areas which already have pipes will get water very soon.
Pipe bursts here and there. Pipe bursts here and there due to aging pipes. We started to replace them one after the other. And so that's why it's like there's a delay, but the replacement is consistent. And I'm sure very soon we'll get there.
He also raised hopes for those whose areas are not yet reticulated to exercise some patience, assuring that the government has not abandoned them. Nwachukwu lamented the removal of some of the taps provided at some galleries in public places in the metropolis and urged residents to protect such facilities in their areas.
What we tell people, wherever you notice any of those infrastructure being tampered with, report to ENUGU State Water Corporation. Our response team will be there to fix them back. We have zonal officers in every zone in ENUGU. And so, but generally, we should try to protect the infrastructure government has provided for us for our own benefit.
As residents continue to wait, the expectation is that the promises will soon translate into steady access to clean water, at least within the metropolis. In Enugu, Favor Nwachi, Signature TV News.
The Kwankwasaya Group Support Group 2027 has proposed a joint presidential ticket pairing former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi with Senator Rabiu Kwankwasa. Speaking in Kano on Friday, the leader of the group, Abba Gwale, stated that as loyal supporters of Senator Kwankwasa, they found it necessary to appeal to Nigerians to support the Obi-Kwankwasa alliance, describing it as a chance to rescue the nation from its current challenges. Gwale further explained that the Obi-Kwankwasa ticket is banking on a wave of popular discontent with the current administration, adding that their message of hope and change is resonating with many Nigerians. He added that with their combined strength, they're emerging as a formidable challenger to the ruling party. According to him, Kwankwasa has presented the best demands that can cater to the needs of supporters and party members across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Saturday conducted a mock accreditation and voting exercise across the Federal Capital Territory as part of preparations for the area council elections scheduled for February 21, 2026. Addressing supervisory presiding officer trainees during a train-the-trainers session, INEC Chairman Joash Amopiton said the exercise was designed to test the Commission's readiness and build the capacity of election officials ahead of the polls. He urged the trainees to take the training seriously and to study the official manual prepared by the Commission. Amopiton reminded the supervisory presiding officer of their statutory duties and encouraged them to avoid compromise, stressing that Nigeria urgently needs a stable and credible electoral process. According to him, INEC is committed to restoring and strengthening public confidence in the electoral system through proper training, simulations, and field testing. The INEC chairman described the supervisory presiding officer as key actors in the electoral process, noting that while senior officials may be in offices, it is field staff who ensure elections run smoothly at polling units. Amopiton also acknowledged the sacrifices being made by the trainees, especially in view of modest remuneration, and appealed to them to see their role as part of national service. Meanwhile, speaking to journalists during the field assessment of the mock exercise, Amopiton expressed satisfaction with the performance of the bimodal voter accreditation system. He said the mock poll was designed to test INEC's operational preparedness and the improved functionality of the beavers. He explained that the exercise allowed the Commission to test both the device and the upgrades made by it in a stimulated election environment. According to him, the system makes double accreditation and multiple voting impossible. The INEC chairman noted that although civil society observers were expected to be present, the exercise will still provide useful feedback. Amopiton said all batches of known sensitive materials had been deployed, training was ongoing, and presiding officers would be trained next week, stressing that so far the functionality of all systems were satisfactory. He acknowledged concerns about the voter apathy, but expressed optimism that turnout would improve. The Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, has announced that the federal government has approved the reopening of the strict security and compliance guidelines. Adeniyi made the disclosure on Saturday while responding to concerns raised by stakeholders, including exporters, transporters, and union traders, during an interactive session in Kebbi State. He assured economic operators that the federal government was not indifferent to the hardship caused by the prolonged border restrictions, noting that the issue had engaged high-level diplomatic, security, and customs authorities across Nigeria and neighboring countries. The Customs Board revealed that Nigeria recently received an urgent delegation from the Niger Republic Customs Service and members of its Chamber of Commerce in Abuja to fast-track solutions to the trade bottleneck. According to him, the decision to reopen the Samia corridor followed strong political will from President Bola Tinubu and cooperation from neighboring governments. Adeniyi stressed the reopening would deploy ICT-based system interconnectivity with customs administrations in Benin and Niger republics to ensure seamless declarations, monitoring, and transparency. He also issued a stern warning against diversions of goods in transit, that any truck found outside the approved transit corridor will be seized. The Comptroller General emphasized the need to develop border communities, saying inclusive growth would enhance security and cooperation. A civil society organization, Women's Rights and Advancement Protection Alternative, RAPA, is worried about the statistics of women and girls abused in Nigeria at a two-day stakeholders gathering in Abuja to discuss the way forward. The society said the challenge is pervasive in Nigeria's northern states. Correspondent Nasir Usman reports.
Violence against women and girls is a blot on Nigeria's social order. The challenge is, however, more in the northern states, and poverty, ignorance, and lack of patience have been identified as the factors that predispose the men to abuse girls and women. According to 2024 Nigeria Demographic and Health Survey, 19% of women experience physical violence from age 15. The organizers of the Abuja meeting are optimistic that with collective effort, violence against women and girls will gradually end in Nigeria.
Our gathering today is therefore more than an event. It is a statement of shared responsibility. It affirms our collective belief that violence against women and girls is preventable. The path is one of research, that is knowledge, providing evidence, highlighting real-lived experiences, promoting responses by developing context-based strategies. I emphasize the word context-based because it is very important for us to understand the context within which we are working.
The party dialogue on ending violence against women and girls is convened deliberately as a space for action, not a ceremonial research launch.
Other stakeholders and traditional rulers say action needs to be implemented to eliminate violence against women and girls.
Today I'd also charged us to pay attention to the way we're raising our boys,
because the way out of this appears to be that what our girls are learning about dignity and rights is also something that our boys must learn about dignity and rights, because the Holy Books does not, the Holy Book, whether it's Christianity or Islam, does not discriminate against anybody. The Almighty loves us all, and there's a reason why we've been created, across each of our sexes as we have been. So it's important to emphasize that in ways that are clear, in ways that build on knowledge. The Holy Books are knowledge, they're research. And how to make that research become action lies in how we step down what is already in the Holy Books and how we explain expectations and how we begin to dismantle norms and change behavior. So
the Federal Capital Territory in the last 2 years has been a very deliberate action. On the 21st of January 2026, we were able to achieve something that is, I believe it's a national milestone, because the Honor of Abaji is the first traditional ruler in the Federal Republic of Nigeria to coordinate his entire chiefdoms to sign an agreement to end traditional harmful practices from the point of a sign-off. And now it's the engagement that we are following through, which has been articulated in articles of bringing that call to action to a place of engagement in our community representation. So we're not just talking it, we are working it.
I think traditional rulers are the most important component in fighting women gender abuses, because all of us, we came from a ward to a town. Each ward, you have your ward head. Each ward head, you have your village head. Village head, you have your district head. So all these are components that are managed by traditional rulers. Traditional institutions start with a family. From a family to what we call Meangwa, from Meangwa to what we call Dekachi, from Dekachi to Hakimi. And these are all components of part and parcel of family that nothing happens without them knowing. In terms of naming ceremony of every house, nothing happened without them knowing. Marriages, nothing happened without them knowing. So traditional institutions are part and parcel of the component of fighting women abuses.
The theme of the Abuja dialogue is from evidence to action, translating legal and social findings for sustainable prevention. The 2-day dialogue was supported by the Ford Foundation. The stakeholders meeting had in attendance traditional rulers, top government officials, civil society organizations, and faith-based organizations who all agreed that ending violence against women and girls is possible through collective responsibilities. In Abuja, Belinda Nwobido for Signaturetv News.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Nyesom Wike, on Saturday rained curses on politicians he perceived as backing those betraying him. The minister spoke while commissioning the Rivers State chapter of the Renewed Hope Ambassador's Office in Port Harcourt. He said senators and members of the House of Representatives supporting the betrayal would also be betrayed in due course. According to him, when such politicians will receive their own portion of the betrayal, they will collapse and go. Up ahead, cultists kill community leader in Anambra State over death of member. Tinubu commiserates with Kwara over killings. Details of these and more after the break.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Armed men suspected to be members of neo-black movement cult, popularly known as Aye, on Friday evening, went to rampage in Ogidi community of Ndemili North local government area of Anambra State. The cultists who attacked the community injured many indigents while also killing the President General of the community, Ikwoka Okoye, and one other unidentified person. The attack has been linked to the killing of a known member of the Aye cult, popularly known as Ima Amasko. Amasko, a cultist and petty robber, was said to have operated all through Monday and Tuesday in Onitsha, robbing unsuspecting persons of their phones. He reportedly took over 18 phones and laptops to Sir Emeka of 4 Plaza in Onitsha to sell them off before he was apprehended. He was later brought back to Ogidi on the request of the traditional ruler and now deceased President General, who had insisted on expelling cultism and violent crimes in the town. On interrogation, he was said to have confessed to having killed a total of 48 people since he began operation. He was said to have also named some prominent people in the community whose killing he participated in. He, however, died in circumstances that were not so clear, leading his members to vow revenge on the community. Ikuka, who has been described as a popular leader in the town, was on Friday evening felled by the men. Reacting to the incident, the Anambra State Police Command spokesperson Dochukwu Ikenga commiserated with the community, reiterating the link between the murder of the President General and the recent capture and killing of a known notorious cultist within the community. Security operatives have repelled suspected bandits who invaded Awanse village in Kwande local government area of Benue State. The State Command spokesperson Udeme Edit confirmed the attack while responding to inquiries on Friday. Village Tobande, Abande, which was attacked on Tuesday. Village Tobande, Abande, which was attacked on Tuesday by bandits, leading to the death of 6 people, including the bandits invaded Awanse community on Friday. The former councillor, who claimed to have visited the affected community on Saturday, said the prompt intervention of security operatives saved the area. He said that no fewer than 76 people have been killed in the past 2 years in the local government, where several communities have faced repeated attacks. Vice President Kashim Shettima has conveyed the condolences of President Bola Tinubu to the government and people of Kwara over the recent killings in Woro and Nuku communities in Kayama local government area. Reports have it that members of an Islamist sect, Lukurawa, allegedly attacked the 2 communities on February 3, killing many and destroying property. Shettima, who spoke on behalf of President Tinubu on Saturday during a condolence visit to the state, described the incident as tragic and shocking, noting that the victims were peaceful residents engaged in legitimate livelihoods. He said that the affected communities had for centuries practiced peaceful and tolerant forms of Islam, adding that the violence was alien to their history, culture, and religious traditions. Shettima disclosed that the federal government had deployed a battalion of Nigerian army to the area, assuring that all necessary measures were being taken to restore peace and security. He also said that the president had directed the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, in collaboration with the Kwara State Emergency
26, on a strong note driven by broad-based buying across major stocks. A total of 712.94 million shares valued at 22.23 billion naira were traded in 46,078 deals, representing a 3% increase in volume, 8% growth in turnover, and a 10% rise in deals compared with the previous session. Market capitalization climbed to 109.1 trillion naira, reflecting improved investor confidence. In all, 129 equities participated in trading, with 55 gainers against 19 losers, underscoring bullish sentiment. Seplat Petroleum Development Co. led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 7,317 naira per share, from an opening price at 6,700 naira per share, followed by Coronation Infrastructure Fund, which surged with 10% to close at 100 naira per share, while Guinea Insurance gained with 10% to close at 1 naira 40. The losing side, Deep Capital Management and Trust came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 9.62% at 6 naira 20 kobo per share from an opening price at 6 naira 86 kobo per share, followed by Universal Insurance Company, which declined with 9.43% to close at 1 naira 44 kobo per share. Meanwhile, the benchmark Nigerian Exchange All-Share Index increased with 1,975.18 points to close at 170,005.36. However, the Naira remained largely stable across both the official and parallel foreign exchange markets on Thursday, February 5, 2026, reflecting sustained liquidity and cautious trading sentiment. On the Nigerian foreign exchange market, the currency traded at around 1,392 naira to 1,398 naira per US dollar, with mid-session rates hovering near 1,395 for Bank of Nigeria interventions. In the parallel market, the Naira exchanged at about 1,468 naira to 1,482 naira per dollar in major centers including Lagos, Abuja, and Kano, indicating marginal strengthening, but with a premium over the official window largely intact. This is business news in Global News. Chimizi Zadima reporting for Signature TV News.
Still to come, U.S. transfers ISIL detainees to Iraq as northeast Syria base drowns down. U.S. has given Ukraine and Russia June deadline to end war, Zelensky says. Do stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Zambia's president has weighed into a cultural debate that has erupted online after the president of Ghana arrived in Zambia wearing a traditional outfit called a fugu. Ghana's foreign minister said the social media buzz was a sign that young people were keen to reclaim their cultural roots. Following days of online back and forth between netizens of the two countries, President Hakainde Hichilema expressed his admiration for the Ghanaian outfit. When Ghana's President John Mahama arrived for a 3-day state visit on Wednesday, he was proudly sporting a fugu, a traditional northern Ghanaian outfit made from hand-woven, narrow strips of thick cutting fabric stitched together to form a structured poncho-style garment. In contrast, his Zambian counterparts were wearing a suit and tie to welcome him at the airport. This elicited a strong reaction from some Zambians online. For example, there were dozens of mocking comments on the Zambian Scorpion Facebook group. Foreign Minister Samuel Ablakwa described it as not just an item of clothing, but a symbol of African identity, dignity, and heritage. He encouraged Africans to reclaim and celebrate their cultural roots. A popular Ghanaian YouTuber also threw his hat into the debate. He added that it is unfortunate that many of them, despite having access to smartphones and the internet, still chose to remain ignorant. United States forces have transferred a third group of ISIL detainees from Gowaran prison in Syria's Hasaka province to Iraq, as signs point to shifting U.S. military activity in the region. The latest transfer is part of a trilateral agreement under the fragile ceasefire between the Syrian government and the Syrian Democratic Forces, which includes relocating detainees held in northeastern Syria to Iraqi custody. U.S. Central Command has confirmed a wider operation to move detainees from multiple facilities, with plans to transfer up to 7,000 prisoners. Iraq says it is investigating transferred detainees for crimes committed against its citizens. The transfers come amid rapid security changes following Syrian government advances and SDF withdrawals across northern and eastern Syria. Political developments are also unfolding in Hasaka. SDF Governor-designate Noah Edien Ahmad met a Damascus delegation ahead of a Syrian flag-raising ceremony at the government building, signaling expanding central government control. The move follows a ceasefire that allows the SDF to nominate the provincial governor and paves the way for the gradual integration of its fighters into state institutions. Meanwhile, Al Jazeera reports that U.S. forces have vacated most watchtowers around a base in Al-Shaddadi, lowering at least one U.S. flag and removing airstrip equipment. While no combat aircraft were seen, a cargo plane briefly landed and departed. The U.S. says its remaining forces continue counter-ISIL operations following large-scale strikes earlier this year after a deadly ambush in Palmyra. The United States has set a June deadline for Ukraine and Russia to reach a peace agreement, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He said the Trump administration wants a fixed timeline and has proposed a new round of trilateral talks next week in the U.S., which Ukraine has confirmed it will attend. The deadline follows U.S.-mediated talks in Abu Dhabi that produced little progress, with both sides maintaining opposing demands. Moscow continues to insist that Ukraine withdraw from the eastern Donbas region, a condition Kyiv rejects and says it is unconstitutional. Despite the deadlock, both sides agreed to exchange 157 prisoners of war earlier this month, with Zelensky confirming further swaps are planned. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff said the exchange showed diplomacy was delivering tangible results, though Washington has not said what action it will take if the deadline is missed. Meanwhile, fighting continues. Zelensky says Russia launched more than 400 drones and around 40 missiles overnight, largely targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Ukraine says energy facilities have been struck hundreds of times this year, leaving large areas without power, despite a brief pledge by Moscow to pause attacks during freezing weather. Russia says negotiations are moving in a positive direction, but Kyiv argues Moscow is still prioritizing war over diplomacy. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order threatening new tariffs on countries that continue to trade with Iran. While no specific rate is set, the order cites a possible 25% tariff on goods imported into the United States from any country that directly or indirectly does business with Tehran. Trump has not commented directly on the order, but reiterated that Iran must not acquire nuclear weapons. The move follows recent U.S.-Iran talks in Oman, the first such discussions since last year's U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. The White House said the order reaffirms a national emergency over Iran, citing its nuclear program, missile development, support for armed groups, and regional destabilization. Separately, Washington announced sanctions on 15 entities accused of trading in Iranian oil and petrochemical products. Iran, already under extensive sanctions, has not responded publicly. Tehran insists its nuclear program is peaceful, rejecting U.S. and allied accusations. Trump withdrew from 2015 nuclear deal in 2018 and reimposed sweeping sanctions, prompting Iran to breach limits on uranium enrichment. Despite restrictions, more than 100 countries still trade with Iran, with China its largest export partner, followed by Iraq, the UAE, and Turkey. Oman, which mediated the latest talks, said discussions helped clarify positions and identify possible areas of progress. Trump described the talks as very good, while Iran's foreign minister called them a good start. Tensions remain high, with Trump warning of possible military action if no deal is reached. And that's it on the foreign scene.
Music and reggae enthusiasts converged on Bush House Arena for the Bob Marley concert and reggae karaoke night, a colorful celebration held in honor of the legendary reggae icon and the enduring culture he represents. The event featured live reggae performances, open karaoke sessions, a candlelight tribute celebrating Bob Marley's legacy, as well as a raffle draw, creating an evening filled with rhythm, reflection, and cultural pride. Correspondent Queeneth Wonkota saw it all.
In this all sweet life, we are coming in from the coast.
Bush House Arena came alive as reggae lovers gathered for the Bob Marley concert and reggae karaoke nights, a vibrant showcase of reggae music and its rich cultural heritage. The night was marked by energetic live performances, open reggae karaoke, and interactive segments that kept the audience engaged from start to finish. Performers thrilled the crowd with powerful rendition of classic reggae hits, paying tribute to Bob Marley's timeless music and enduring influence on generations of artists and fans alike. A major highlight of the event was the open reggae karaoke session, which gave attendees the opportunity to step onto the stage and perform their favorite reggae songs. Several participants confidently took the microphone, transforming the atmosphere into a lively participatory celebration of music and unity. Some of those who participated in the karaoke segment shared how Bob Marley's music continues to inspire them, describing his lyrics as meaningful and filled with positive messages. Others noted that they grew up listening to his songs through their parents, saying his music played a significant role in shaping their love for reggae and their understanding on its impact on humanity.
Okay, so apart from his music, he's a great writer, great singer. I like his personality. His personality comes across as more like an activist and a Pan-Africanist, yeah? So when he says things like emancipate yourself from mental slavery, he's talking to Africa. It means he's passionate about his own people. So for me, that's like a strong personality coming right there. So aside the music, I think I do love him. I love his ideologies. I love what he represents. I love the kind of inspiration and things he breathes into like our generation.
I've never been to like this kind of karaoke. It's amazing. And it's Bob Marley. I really love Bob Marley. I grew up with Bob Marley. Like my dad plays Bob Marley songs very well. So I may not know all the songs, but I know like a dozen of his songs. So I'm excited to be here today.
I'm here for the event in honor of Bob Marley. Although I do mostly ballads, but I love reggae music. I listen to it in my leisure time. I love Bob Marley. I like Lucky Dube. I like just any reggae music that is sweet, like Man Down by Rihanna. Yeah.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem. There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of our number 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV. We are local.
International communities when the main market is in chaos, people are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye. We have taken it by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
I love Bob Marley, I like Lucky Dube, I like just any reggae music that is sweet, like Man Down by Rihanna.
Yeah, I'm representing Bob. So I mean, it's his birthday. Yeah. So he's a legend and he will always be remembered.
Overall, the Bob Marley concerts